এবিসি টেলিভিশনের ইনভেস্টিগেশন ইনসাইড অনুষ্ঠানে সবাইকে স্বাগত। 1981 সালের 26শে মার্চ বাংলাদেশের স্বাধীনতা নিয়ে এবিসি টেলিভিশন কি সংবাদ পরিবেশন করেছিল, চলুন দেখে নেওয়া যাক আর্কাইভ থেকে।
The bitterness of poverty and resentment in East Pakistan erupted today in a kind of civil war. Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, the leader of East Pakistan, declared the region an independent republic, which he said will be called Bangladesh, the land of the Bengalis. Pakistan is a nation united only by religion. West Pakistan has the money and the government and the resources. East Pakistan, 1,000 miles away across India, has the poverty and the misery. It seems to get in the world news only when it sets a record for disaster, as it did last fall with the tidal wave that killed 200,000 people. Now West Pakistan, which also has most of the army, is trying to crush the revolt. There are reports of many casualties in Dhaka and other East Pakistan cities. Americans reaching the U.S. consulate in Dhaka say that the army is using full force, including tanks, throughout the country. The revolt came after a final breakdown of talks for which Pakistan President Yahya Khan went to East Pakistan. The background of today's Declaration of Independence now, from Ted Koppel in Dhaka.
As far as the people of East Pakistan are concerned, the central issue has never been in doubt. They have been treated, they feel, as though their country were a colony of West Pakistan. In last December's general election, East Pakistan's Awami League won an absolute majority in the National Assembly. The Assembly was due to convene on March 3rd. It would draft a new constitution. Given a majority voice in the new Assembly, things would be different for East Pakistan. But the Assembly never met. Under pressure from West Pakistan's political leader, Ali Bhutto, President Yahya Khan postponed the Assembly for 3 weeks. Under the leadership of Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, the Bengalis took to the streets. The situation became so critical that President Yahya himself flew here to Dhaka to meet personally with the Sheikh. The meetings were so private that no member of the press has yet seen or photographed the two men together. Finally, the third protagonist was summoned from Karachi. Ali Bhutto arrived in Dhaka surrounded by machine gun-toting bodyguards. The hotel where he stayed became an armed camp, cordoned off by the army. The precautions were necessary. In a competition for the most hated man in East Pakistan, Ali Bhutto would win in a walk. Within 24 hours of Bhutto's arrival in Dhaka, President Yahya postponed the National Assembly yet again, this time indefinitely. The Bengalis used the occasion to proclaim a kind of de facto independence. To the crack of a 1.5-gun salute, a rifle and what looked to be a Luger pistol, student groups hoisted the new Bangladesh flag before a crowd of some 10,000 people. But the Bengali people have tasted the influence of their own numbers. Sheikh Mujib's rhetoric and their own slogans have convinced them that compromise is tantamount to surrender. This is Ted Koppel, ABC News, Dhaka.
If it could be done without violence, the best solution to the Pakistani crisis would be to let rebellious East Pakistan and its leader, Sheikh Mujib, secede and become an independent nation. East Pakistan has been subjected to regional injustice beyond endurance. It has more people, 75 million to West Pakistan's less than 60 million. In the only free elections ever held last December, Mujib's East Pakistani party won an easy majority, but it has no say in the government. East Pakistan pays more taxes than West Pakistan, yet it gets in return only 30% of the whole nation's budget expenditures. Moreover, it gets only 30% of the whole nation's foreign aid, West Pakistan taking the lion's share. And it is allowed, East Pakistan is, to provide only 15% of the whole nation's bureaucracy and only 10% of the whole nation's army. West Pakistan again takes the lion's share. Aside from having a just complaint, Mujib has a more rational policy. Above all, he favors and can get resumed relations with neighboring India. That would end a major friction point on the map, and it would enable Pakistan to buy much-needed imports like coal from India at 1/5 the price she must now pay for them from other nations. Insofar as the U.S. has any influence, it should be bent to trying to stop the violence first, and then second to obtaining autonomy for Mujib and badly mistreated East Pakistan.
There's civil war in Pakistan tonight. Federal troops are reported fighting mobs armed with rifles and even sticks and stones in Dhaka, Chittagong, and other major cities in East Pakistan. In a radio broadcast, President Yahya Khan accused East Pakistan's leader, Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, of treason and ordered the army to take any steps necessary to restore the authority of the government. A clandestine radio station calling itself the Voice of Independent Bengal broadcast that Rahman has declared East Pakistan an independent nation. In Dhaka yesterday, Rahman, who has long fought for self-government for East Pakistan, addressed a rally of his followers. The 51-year-old sheikh is the leader of the Awami League, a political party that won a landslide victory in national elections last December. It was the country's first freely elected National Assembly in its 23-year history. But because of differences between Rahman and President Khan, the assembly has never been convened. There are some 75 million persons in East Pakistan. The feeling is strong there that the central government, 1,000 miles away in West Pakistan, has been treating them as second-rate citizens. The fact is that East and West have little in common, even speaking different languages. Rahman has asked if anybody can stop East Pakistan's drive towards self-government.
Oh, nobody can stop it.
Autonomy of East Pakistan?
Nobody can stop it. Autonomy? Oh, definitely. No can stop my autonomy.
More than that. More than autonomy.
No question of this and that. I want my rights.
Emancipation.
I want my emancipation.
West Pakistan cannot do anything about it.
Who can do anything when 70 million people are united behind us?
Even with the army.
What damn army can do? We don't care for them. They can suppress my people with bullets.
So you're already the chief of independent Bengal. De facto, not legally, but de facto.
What? I am representing the people of Bengal. Legally, morally. I am the man who can govern this country.
There are some 1,100 Americans in East Pakistan, and so far as is known, none of them has been harmed in the violence. The State Department has not decided whether they should be evacuated.
ABC বাংলা টেলিভিশনের দর্শক বন্ধুরা দেখছিলেন ABC টেলিভিশনের আর্কাইভ থেকে 1971 সালের 26শে মার্চ বাংলাদেশের স্বাধীনতা নিয়ে যে সংবাদ পরিবেশন করেছিল ABC টেলিভিশন সেই আর্কাইভ আপনারা দেখছিলেন। আগামী অনুষ্ঠানে আবার দেখা হবে। সবাই ভালো থাকবেন। আল্লাহ হাফেজ।
সোনার মানুষ, সোনার দেশ, বিশ্বজুড়ে বাংলাদেশ। আমরা দেখছি ABC বাংলা।